Yo, what's poppin'? I'm Ruby Carter, the manga geek who's always stuck in my twin sister Rose's shadow. She's basically the queen of our school. But when she got sick right before prom, I had to swap places with her for one insane night. Let's just say, secrets spilled, drama exploded, and I was not ready for what went down. Want the tea? Smash that like button, hit subscribe. And let's get into it. I'm Ruby Carter, the 17-year-old manga geek at Lincoln High who's basically invisible, unless you count being the school's weird bookworm as fame. My sketchbook's my safe space, filled with samurai girls and secret drawings of Chad Evans, the quarterback with a smile that makes my heart do backflips. Yeah, I've had a crush on him since freshman year, but he's got eyes for my twin sister, Rose, the golden girl who's basically prom royalty. Rose has it all: perfect curls, a cheerleader squad, and a TikTok account with 1 million likes. Me, I'm the one dodging dodgeballs in gym and praying my hoodie hides my blush when Chad walks by. Last Monday was a classic Ruby disaster. I was sprinting to the art room, my sketchbook crammed with drafts for my secret manga series, Shadowblade, which has a cult following on Webtoon. Nobody knows I'm the artist, not even Chad, who I've been DMing anonymously to cheer him up since his parents' divorce last year. I was lost in thought when Vanessa, the school's resident mean girl, tripped into me. My sketches flew everywhere, and she snatched one, a drawing of Chad as a manga hero. "Oh, Ruby, crushing on Mr. Perfect?" she cackled, waving it for her click to snap pics. I dove for it, but slipped on a soda spill and crashed into a locker. The hallway roared with laughter, and Vanessa posted the sketch on X with "Manga Loser's Sad Crush" as the caption. I grabbed my stuff and hid in the art room, my cheeks burning. By lunch, the post had 500 likes, and I was trending for all the wrong reasons. Home's no escape either. Rose and I share a room, but it's her kingdom. Glittery makeup palettes and prom posters on her side. My side, a chaos of paint tubes and manga panels. Mom's always gushing about Rose's prom queen campaign or her latest cheer routine, while I'm just the quiet one. That night, I was sketching Chad's manga version, trying to shake off the X post, when Rose staggered in, pale and sweaty. "Ruby, I'm toast," she groaned, flopping onto her bed. I smirked. She's such a drama queen. But then she coughed like she was auditioning for a horror movie. Mom rushed in with a thermometer. 103 degrees. "Rose, you're not going anywhere tomorrow," she said, tucking her in. My stomach dropped. Tomorrow was prom. Rose's shot at the prom queen crown. "I can't miss it," Rose rasped. "Vanessa's gonna snatch my title." Mom shook her head, but Rose's eyes locked on me. "Ruby, you have to go as me." I nearly choked on my ramen. "Are you insane? Me, pretend to be you?" Rose is all confidence and charm. I'm the girl who trips over air. "It's just a few hours," she pleaded. "Walk in, flash a smile, dance with Chad, and leave after the crowning. You're my twin. You can do it." My heart skipped at Chad's name, but I shook my head. "Rose, I'd rather eat my sketchbook. I'd mess it up, and everyone would know I'm not you." She grabbed my arm, desperate. "Please, Ruby, Chad thinks I'm the Shadowblade artist. He's been texting me about it, and he'll vote for me. Don't let Vanessa win." My jaw dropped. Chad thought Rose was the manga artist. My manga artist? I'd been the one DMing him, pouring my heart out to help him through his parents' split. And he thought it was her? Jealousy burned in my chest. But before I could snap, Mom piped up from the doorway. "Rose is our shining star. Ruby, you could just stay in the background and let her have this." Her words stung like a slap. Background? That's all I was? I stared at my sketchbook, my manga Chad staring back, brave and bold. Maybe I could be bold too, just once. "Fine," I growled. "I'll do it." Rose squealed, then hacked up a lung, and Mom clapped like I'd won an Oscar. But as they plotted my makeover, My palms sweated. Me, at prom. As Rose, with Chad. This was a train wreck waiting to happen. The next morning, I was a nervous mess, doodling to calm my nerves. Rose, still feverish, dragged herself over, walk like you're on a runway. Ruby, shoulders back. Own it, she said, strutting despite her cough. I tried, but I wobbled like a newborn giraffe. She tossed me her prom dress, a silver gown that sparkled like a disco ball. I slipped it on, and even I gasped. I looked like Rose, but with my eyes. Too bad Chad only saw her. As I packed my bag, a manga page slipped out. A sketch of me and Chad dancing at prom. My secret fantasy. My face flushed. If anyone saw it, I'd die. I stuffed it back, but as I left, I didn't notice it flutter under Rose's bed. That sketch was about to blow up my life, and I was walking straight into a prom night storm. I stood in front of the mirror, barely recognizing myself. The silver prom dress hugged my curves, sparkling under the bedroom lights like something out of a Hollywood movie. My usual messy bun was gone, replaced by sleek waves that screamed Rose Carter. My hand shook as I slipped on her strappy heels, wobbling like I was on stilts. Rose, propped up on her bed with a box of tissues, gave me a thumbs up. You're killing it, Ruby. Now remember, smile big, flip your hair, and if Chad talks to you, act cool. My stomach did a somersault at Chad's name. Cool? I'd be lucky if I didn't trip over my own feet and faceplant in front of him. Rose, this is a bad idea, I muttered, gripping my purse like a lifeline. I'm gonna mess it up. She coughed, then grinned. You're my twin. You've got this. Just channel my vibe. Confident, flirty, untouchable. I tried her signature hair flip and nearly knocked over a lamp. She laughed. And for a second, I forgot how jealous I was that Chad thought she was the Shadow Blade artist, the artist who'd spent months DMing him about manga, cheering him up when his parents split. That was me, Ruby, but he'd never know. Mom poked her head in. Ruby, you look, wow, like Rose. I forced a smile, but her words stung. Even now, I was just a stand-in. Car's here, she said. Don't let Rose down. I nodded, my heart pounding as I teetered downstairs and into the Uber. Lincoln High's gym was transformed when I arrived. Neon lights, a thumping DJ, and balloons everywhere. My palms sweated as I stepped inside, the heels clicking too loudly. Heads turned, and I heard whispers. Rose is here. She's slaying. I froze. Then remembered Rose's advice. Own it. I straightened up, tossed my hair, and strutted toward the dance floor. Big mistake. My heel caught on a streamer, and I stumbled, grabbing a table to save myself. A tray of punch cups wobbled, and, yep, 3 splashed onto my dress. Smooth, Ruby, I hissed under my breath, dabbing at the pink stains. A group of cheerleaders giggled nearby, and I prayed no one was filming. Rose, you okay? I spun around, and there was Chad, all 6 feet of him in a sharp black tux. His green eyes locked on me. My throat went dry. He thought I was Rose, the girl he'd been texting about Shadow Blade, not the nerd who'd drawn him as a manga hero. Yeah, just clumsy moment, I stammered, attempting a Rose smile. He chuckled, and my heart melted. You look different tonight, like more you. I blinked. Was that a compliment? Thanks, I said, my voice squeaking. Want to dance? He held out his hand, and I nearly fainted. Dance? With Chad? I nodded, forgetting I had the coordination of a baby deer. The DJ switched to a fast pop beat, and Chad led me to the floor. I tried to mimic Rose's smooth moves, but my arms flailed like I was in a K-pop video gone wrong. Chad laughed. Not mocking, but warm. Okay, that's new. Where'd you learn that? My face burned. Just vibing? Then, in a panic, I threw in a move from my manga, a dramatic spin inspired by Shadowblade's heroine. To my shock, the crowd cheered, and a few kids copied me. Yo, Rose, that's fire, someone yelled. I grinned, feeling a rush. Maybe I could pull this off. But then I saw Vanessa, Rose's rival, glaring from the snack table. Her red dress was impossible to miss, and her eyes narrowed like she smelled a rat. She whispered to her posse, and my stomach twisted. Rose, she called, sauntering over. You're late. Thought you'd bail after I posted about your cheer routine flop last week. I froze. Cheer routine? I had no clue what she was talking about. Yeah, got held up, I said, hoping that was vague enough. Vanessa smirked. Really? You don't seem yourself. Forgot your squad's chant yet? Her friend snickered, and I felt the room closing in. I'm good, I snapped, channeling Rose's attitude. Just here to win that crown. Vanessa's smile was pure venom. We'll see, she strutted off, but I caught her pulling out her phone, typing furiously. Great. She was probably starting an X thread about Rose acting weird. I needed air. I slipped toward the photo booth, my purse swinging. As I adjusted my dress, my sketchbook, stupidly tucked in my purse for comfort, slipped out and hit the floor. It flipped open to a page I'd drawn last month, Chad as a manga warrior. His name doodled in hearts. My blood ran cold. If anyone saw that, I was toast. I dove for it. But a freshman grabbed it first. Whoa, this is dope. Did you draw this, Rose? He asked, holding it up. I snatched it back, my face on fire. It's a friend's. I lied, stuffing it into my purse. But as I turned, I saw Chad watching from across the room, his brow furrowed. Did he see the drawing? Did he recognize the Shadowblade style? My heart raced. Rose, come on, let's take a pic. A cheerleader called, dragging me to the booth before I could bolt. I plastered on a smile, but my mind was spiraling. Vanessa was on to me. Chad was too close for comfort. And that sketchbook was a ticking time bomb. As the camera flashed, I overheard Vanessa's voice nearby. Something's off with Rose. I'm gonna find out what. I glanced at the dance floor, where kids were still mimicking my manga spin, and Chad was heading my way. A curious look in his eyes. I was in way over my head, and prom was about to get a lot messier. I was sweating through my silver dress, the neon prom lights feeling like a spotlight on my lies. The gym was a blur of glitter, bass-heavy music, and kids snapping selfies. But all I could think about was Vanessa's smirk and that stupid sketchbook in my purse. Chad was still nearby, his green eyes scanning me like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Rose, you're killing it out there, he said, leaning closer over the thumping beat. My heart did a cartwheel. He was talking to me. Well, to Rose, but the way he smiled made my crush feel like a wildfire. Thanks, I mumbled, attempting Rose's flirty hair toss. Big mistake. My elbow knocked a soda can off a table, and it sprayed across a freshman's tux. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I squeaked. Grabbing napkins, the kid laughed it off, but I caught Vanessa across the room, her phone aimed at me like a sniper rifle. She was definitely posting this to X, probably with some caption like Rose Carter's epic fail. I needed to get it together. Chad handed me a fresh soda, his fingers brushing mine. You're not usually this chaotic, he teased. It's kinda cute. Cute? My face burned. Was he flirting? But then he added, reminds me of my manga pen pal. She's always got these wild stories about spilling paint in art class. My stomach dropped. He meant me, Ruby, the Shadowblade artist he'd been DMing for months. Except he thought I was Rose. I forced a laugh. Yeah, manga life, right? I had to change the subject before I blurted out the truth. So, you into comics too? His eyes lit up. Totally. Shadow Blade is my jam. The way the heroine fights for her family, it got me through some rough nights after my parents split. My chest tightened. I'd drawn those panels to cope with feeling invisible next to Rose. And now Chad was thanking her for it. Glad you liked it, I said weakly, my voice barely audible over the DJ. Before he could say more, a cheerleader grabbed him for a dance, and I slipped away to the snack table, my head spinning. How was I supposed to keep this up? I was falling harder for Chad, but every word out of his mouth was for Rose. See it? I munched on a pretzel, trying to blend in, when Vanessa sauntered over, her red dress glowing like a warning sign. Rose, you're off your game, she said, her voice dripping with fake concern. Forgot the cheer squad's new routine too? Or maybe you're not Rose at all. My blood ran cold. She was fishing, and I was a terrible liar. I'm just tired, I stammered, avoiding her gaze. She smirked, typing on her phone. We'll see what X thinks. #FakeRose is trending. FYI, I peeked at her screen and saw a thread with dozens of likes. Rose Carter, acting sus AF. Who is she really? My palms sweated. This was bad. I needed to stay low-key, but the DJ announced a group dance, and a crowd pulled me onto the floor. I tried to mimic Rose's smooth moves, but my nerves turned it into a manga-style flail. Think Shadow Blade in a fight scene. To my shock, the crowd ate it up, chanting, "Rose, Rose!" I spun, laughing despite myself, until my purse slipped off my shoulder. It hit the floor, and oh no, my sketchbook spilled out, pages flapping open. I dove for it, but Chad beat me to it, grabbing it first. Whoa, this art, he said, his eyes wide as he held up a page. It was a Shadow Blade sketch, one I'd sent him in our DMs. This is exactly like the manga. Rose, did you draw this? My heart stopped. He was putting it together. I snatched the sketchbook, my face on fire. It's a fan thing, I lied, shoving it into my purse, but his frown said he wasn't buying it. Before I could bolt, the music cut off, and the principal took the stage, holding a glittery envelope. Time to crown our prom queen, he boomed. The crowd roared, and I froze. This was it, Rose's moment. I just had to smile, wave, and get out. Vanessa was glaring from the front, her phone still out, and Chad was still watching me, clutching my sketch. The principal opened the envelope, and the gym went silent. Congratulations, Ruby Carter, my jaw dropped. Ruby Carter? My name? The spotlight swung to me, and the crowd gasped, then murmured, Ruby? Who's Ruby? Isn't that Rose's nerdy sister? Vanessa's laugh cut through the noise. I knew it! That's not Rose! I stood there, the silver dress suddenly feeling like a straitjacket. Chad's eyes widened, and I saw the gears turning. He was realizing Rose wasn't the manga artist. Kids were pulling out their phones, live streaming, and the whispers turned to shouts. She's a fake! What's going on? I wanted to sink through the floor. The principal, clueless, waved me forward. Come on up, Ruby! I took a shaky step, my heels wobbling, and tripped, catching myself on a balloon arch. The crowd erupted, some laughing, some cheering, some booing. Vanessa was screaming. She stole Rose's spot! And I saw her posting to X. The hashtag #FakeRose blowing up. Chad stepped closer, holding my sketchbook, his voice soft. Ruby, is that you? I couldn't breathe. My crush, the guy I'd been DMing for months, was staring at me like I'd betrayed him. The principal shoved a microphone in my face, and I stammered. I'm not. But the crowd drowned me out. Phones were everywhere, recording my worst nightmare. I turned to run, my eyes stinging, when a voice boomed from the gym doors. Stop! It was Rose, pale and sweaty, her hair a mess, but her glare pure fire. She'd dragged herself here, fever and all. The crowd parted, and she stormed toward me, grabbing the mic. That's my sister, and she's no fake! My jaw hit the floor. Rose was here, and prom was about to explode. The gym felt like a pressure cooker. The neon lights glaring down as every phone in the room pointed at me. I stood frozen on the prom stage, the silver dress sticking to my sweaty skin. The principal's words, Ruby Carter, prom queen, ringing in my ears. The crowd was a mix of gasps, laughs, and shouts, with Vanessa's voice cutting through like a knife. "She's a fraud!" "That's not Rose!" My chest tightened, and I clutched the microphone, my legs screaming to run. Chad was in the front row, still holding my sketchbook, his green eyes wide with confusion. He'd just realized I wasn't Rose. And worse, he was probably piecing together that I was the Shadow Blade artist he'd been DMing for months, not my sister. My crush was staring at me like I'd catfished him. And I wanted to disappear. Kids were live streaming, their phones flashing. An X was blowing up. I could see Vanessa's posse typing furiously. Hashtags like #FakeRose and #PromScam trending. "What a loser!" someone yelled. And a cheerleader snorted. She thought she could steal Rose's crown? I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. My eyes stung, and I turned to bolt, my heels slipping on the stage. That's when Rose's voice roared from the gym doors. "Stop!" The crowd parted like the Red Sea, and there she was, my twin, looking like she'd crawled out of a horror movie. Her hair was a sweaty mess, her face pale from fever, but her glare was pure fire. She stormed to the stage, snatching a mic from a stunned teacher. "That's my sister, Ruby, and she's no fraud," she shouted, her voice hoarse but fierce. The gym went dead silent. I gaped at her, my heart pounding. Rose was supposed to be in bed, not here saving my butt. Vanessa crossed her arms, smirking. "Oh, please, Rose, your nerdy twin crashed prom to steal your spotlight. Pathetic." Rose spun on her, eyes blazing. "Wrong. Vanessa. I begged Ruby to come tonight because I was sick. She didn't want to. She did it for me," the crowd murmured, and I saw a few kids lower their phones. Rose turned to me, softening. "But you know what? Ruby's not just my stand-in. She's the real deal." She grabbed my sketchbook from Chad's hands and held it up. This is Shadow Blade, the manga you're all obsessed with. Ruby drew it, not me." My jaw dropped. She was outing me, my secret, my art, my DMs with Chad. The crowd gasped, and Chad's eyes widened, flicking between me and the sketchbook. "Wait," he said, stepping closer. "Ruby's the artist? The one I've been texting?" Rose nodded, coughing but grinning. "Yup. Ruby's the one who stayed up late DMing you about manga. Chad, cheering you up when your parents split. Not me. I don't even read comics." My face burned. I wanted to hug Rose and strangle her at the same time. Chad looked at me, his expression shifting from shock to something softer, like he was seeing me for the first time. "Ruby, that was you?" he asked, his voice low. I nodded, too stunned to speak. The crowd was buzzing now, some kids clapping, others whispering, "No way. She's the Shadow Blade girl?" Vanessa wasn't having it. She stormed forward, her red dress swishing. "So what? She still lied. She tricked everyone to get that crown." She pointed at the prom queen tiara, still in the principal's hands. A few of her friends booed, and someone yelled, "Give it to Rose!" I flinched, ready to ditch the stage, but Rose grabbed my arm. "Ruby earned this," she said into the mic. "She showed up, she slayed, and you all voted for her. Look at her dance moves, those manga spins. That's Ruby, not me." A few kids cheered, and I caught some chanting, "Shadow Blade!" My head spun. Was this actually happening? The principal, clearly over the drama, stepped up. "Well, the votes are in, and Ruby Carter's our queen." He plopped the tiara on my head, and it wobbled, nearly falling off. The crowd erupted, some cheering, some booing, and Vanessa looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. I glanced at Chad, who was clapping now, a small smile on his face. My crush was cheering for me, but I still felt like an imposter. Rose coughed again, swaying, and I grabbed her before she collapsed. "You're burning up," I whispered, panic rising. "Why'd you come?" she smirked. "Couldn't let my twin crash and burn alone." I helped her to a chair, the tiara slipping over my eye. The crowd was still chaotic, with kids posting to X, "Ruby's the manga queen," "Vanessa's salty AF," and Vanessa was arguing with a teacher, her face red. I turned to Chad, who was now beside me, holding my sketchbook like it was a treasure. "Ruby, why didn't you tell me it was you?" he asked, his voice earnest. "I thought Rose was, you know, the one who got me." My heart ached. "I didn't think you'd notice me," I admitted, my voice barely a whisper. "I'm just the weird manga girl." He shook his head. "You're not just anything. Those DMs, your art, that's you. And that dance, you lit up the room." My cheeks flushed. And for a second, I forgot the chaos. But Vanessa's voice snapped me back. "This isn't over. Ruby," she yelled, storming off with her posse. The live streams were still going, and I knew Monday at school would be a nightmare. Rose nudged me, whispering, "Own it, Ruby. You're prom queen." I looked at the crowd, some now chanting my name, and Chad, who was still smiling. The tiara felt heavy, but maybe Rose was right. Maybe I could be more than the girl in the background. But as I stepped off the stage, my heel caught, and I stumbled into Chad's arms. The crowd laughed, and he steadied me, grinning. "Still chaotic, Sitsadik," he said. I laughed, but inside I was freaking out. I was prom queen. My secret was out. And Chad was looking at me like I was the only girl in the room. What now? The gym was still buzzing, a chaotic mix of cheers, boos, and flashing phone cameras, but I felt like I was in a bubble. The prom queen tiara wobbling on my head. Rose was slumped in a chair beside me, her fever making her look like a warrior who'd just fought a dragon. She'd blown up my secret, that Ruby Carter, was the Shadow Blade artist. And now the whole school knew. Vanessa was still fuming by the snack table, her red dress a beacon of rage, but the crowd's vibe was shifting. Kids were chanting, "Ruby, Ruby!" And some were even doing my goofy manga dance from earlier. Chad stood a few feet away, my sketchbook still in his hands. His green eyes locked on me like I was a puzzle he'd finally solved. My crush, the guy I'd been DMing for months, knew I wasn't Rose. My heart was doing backflips, but I was terrified. What if he hated me for lying? The principal, clearly done with the drama, shoved the microphone back at me. "Ruby, say a few words," he urged, oblivious to the chaos. I froze, my palms sweaty. "Me? Speak? In front of everyone?" Vanessa smirked, probably expecting me to crash and burn. I glanced at Rose, who gave me a weak nod, and then at Chad, who smiled, like he actually believed in me. I took a deep breath, the tiara slipping over one eye, and stepped to the mic. Hi," I started, my voice shaky. The gym quieted, phone still recording. "I'm Ruby, not Rose. I didn't come here to steal anything. I just wanted to help my sister." My voice cracked, and I saw Vanessa roll her eyes. But tonight, I realized something. I've spent my whole life hiding, behind my sketchbook, behind Rose's shadow. I thought I wasn't enough, but you guys voted for me, for my weird manga moves, for me. The crowd cheered, louder now, and I felt a spark of courage. So, yeah, I'm the Shadow Blade artist, I'm a nerd, I trip over stuff, and I'm done pretending I'm not. I adjusted the tiara, grinning. "Thanks for making me your queen." The gym exploded. Claps, whistles, and kids shouting, "Shadow Blade!" Even some of Vanessa's posse were nodding. I caught Chad laughing, clapping harder than anyone, and my cheeks burned. Rose grabbed my hand, squeezing it. "Told you, sis," she whispered. As I stepped off the stage, still wobbly in my heels, The DJ cranked up a new song, and kids swarmed the dance floor, some copying my manga spin. I helped Rose to a bench, worried she'd pass out. "You didn't have to do that," I said, my voice thick. "You're sick," she smirked, coughing. "Had to make sure my twin got her moment. Plus, I'm tired of Vanessa's drama." I laughed, tears stinging my eyes. For the first time, I felt like Rose saw me. Not just as her shadow, but as her equal. Then Chad appeared, holding my sketchbook like it was a sacred artifact. "Ruby, can we talk?" he asked. His voice soft but serious. My stomach flipped. Was he mad? I nodded. And we slipped to a quieter corner, the neon lights casting a glow on his tux. "I can't believe it was you," he said, flipping through my sketches. "The DMs, the manga. You're the one who got me through last year. Why didn't you say anything?" I shrugged, my face hot. "I didn't think you'd care about me." "You liked Rose? Everyone does." He shook his head, stepping closer. "I liked Shadowblade. I liked the girl who sent me those messages, who made me laugh when I was falling apart. That's you, Ruby, and tonight, you were electric out there. The way you danced, the way you owned that stage, you're not just some nerd. You're kinda amazing." My heart stopped. Was Chad Evans, my crush since forever, calling me amazing? I stammered. "But I'm not Rose. I'm not, like, prom queen material." He grinned, his eyes sparkling. "You're better. And, you're kinda cute in that dress, too." I blushed so hard I thought I'd combust. "So, you don't hate me for lying?" I asked, bracing myself. He laughed. "Hate you? Ruby, I'm into you. Like, for real." He paused, then added, "Wanna dance? As you, not Rose." I nodded, too stunned to speak, and he led me to the floor. The song was slow, and I let him pull me close, my heels finally cooperating. For once, I didn't care who was watching. The next week, prom was all over X, but not for the reasons I feared. My speech went viral, racking up millions of views with captions like "Manga Queen Slays Prom." My Shadowblade webtoon exploded, with fans freaking out that I was the artist. I posted a video on TikTok, owning my weird self, manga, tripping, all of it. And it hit 1 million likes. Rose and I were closer than ever, binge-watching anime together while she recovered. She even helped me sketch a new Shadowblade chapter, teasing me about my prom prince Chad. Oh, yeah, Chad. He texted me the day after prom. If I could vote for prom queen again, it'd be you, Ruby. Not anyone else. Wanna grab boba and talk manga? My heart did a triple flip. We met up, and he admitted he'd been crushing on the Shadowblade girl for months, but seeing me shine at prom, dancing, speaking, being me, sealed the deal. We're not official yet, but the way he smiles when I doodle him in my sketchbook, I'm hopeful. Standing in Rose's shadow taught me something. I don't need to borrow anyone's light. My manga, my moves, my messy, nerdy self, that's enough. And when I look at the prom queen tiara on my desk next to my sketchbook, I know I earned it. Not as Rose, but as Ruby. It's out. Thanks for sticking with my crazy prom story. You guys are the real MVPs. This whole mess taught me one thing. You don't need to be anyone else to shine. Just be your weird, awesome self. If you loved this, drop a like, share it with your squad, and hit that subscribe button for more tea. Catch ya in the next one. Peace out.